Hey, Robetta Baker with Punchy Camp Ranch Farms. So today we checked our bees to check and make sure that they have food. They needed some food, so tonight we're making that, and then tomorrow we'll put the food on for them. We're just making some sugar bricks. This is a recipe that we got from Jim and Paula Koss at the Honey Bee Connection in Moorhead, Kentucky, and I'm going to go through and show you how to make that. So the first thing you're going to need is 12.5 pounds of white granulated sugar. I just keep a bucket with a mark on it that shows me where 12.5 pounds is. That way I'm not weighing it out every time. It took me about 3 or 4 batches to figure that out real quick. So you're just going to pour your honey or your sugar into your pot. And you need a deep, pretty good thick bottom pot for this. The next thing you're going to add is just 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. And then you have to have 3 tablespoons of Honey Bee Healthy. Honey Bee Healthy is really good for the gut of the bees, their gut health. And then the vinegar keeps it from molding. So there's 3 tablespoons. And then you need a quart of water. And I use warm water just to kind of, it makes it easier to mix that into the sugar. Now this will be the only time that you mix these ingredients together. Once you get all these combined, there's no need to mix it anymore until you have to add your Ultra Bee. You just see I want to get down in there towards the bottom and get all of that sugar. Okay, that looks good. I always take another spoon just to wipe all the extra sugar out of my big wooden spoon. We're going to turn our heat on to about medium, and then we're going to put a thermometer in. Some people will use candy thermometers. I like to use these barbecue thermometers. You don't want the thermometer tip to be touching the bottom. You just want it suspended in the sugar mixture. Let's see, let me do it this way. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to let this cook up to 245 degrees. I've got my thermometer set so that it'll beep whenever it reaches that temperature. And then after that, we'll mix the Ultra Bee in it and pour it into our pans. Okay, so we're at the point where we're getting ready to mix the Ultra Bee in. You can see that this pot has made it to 245 degrees. So I'm just going to turn this off and take my thermometer out. I love that thermometer. It's just a barbecue thermometer. It works great on these. Always wear gloves or something good to protect your hands because this is very hot. This will bubble up a little bit when you put the Ultra Bee into it. I just dump it in. Jim Koss uses a drill with a big mixer on the end. I just use a whisk and get in here. Whisk this up. You can see how it bubbles. Generally out of one batch, I can pour 5 to 6 pans. We use the rectangular pans. We were doing pie tins, but this works out a lot better for us. And I actually got this idea from Kevin Hale, who's also a beekeeper here in Kentucky. This is actually, I believe, his recipe, or Jim and Paula got this recipe from him. And then I saw on Facebook where he was using these rectangular pans. And I thought that was a swift idea. So and then some of these I'm going to have to come back in with my next batch and top off a little bit. But there you go. And then they'll set up. If you look on the table here, you can see some that we've already poured. Those are already set up for the most part. We'll let them cool tonight, and then tomorrow we'll put those on the hives.